Whenever you're ready.
Okay. So my name is Joey Craig. I'm from Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I'm a proud Colorado native, honestly. And just to get to know you guys a little better, how many in here are like a Colorado native, like native to Colorado? Okay, I didn't expect that. Okay, I'm assuming that since you said yes to that question, you're also going to say yes to the fact that you're tired of people from out of state and out of like different states that are like, we'll say, illegalized with medical marijuana. You're tired of the bombardment of questions that your friends continue to ask you, correct? Well, for me, I am. I'm sick of it. You know, I'm from Colorado. I'm instantly labeled a pothead, and it sucks because just because of our state passing Amendment 64, I mean, they pass it for medical benefits and for recreational uses, but we'll get to that later. The topics that I'm going to cover today are the sociological problems along with marijuana, medical benefits, precautionary symptoms of it, and also I'm going to try to talk to you guys about hemp and the difference between hemp and cannabis. So to start off with the sociological problems, I have a personal story. My dad, we had a death in the family and he had to go to Oklahoma, unfortunately, to go to the funeral. As he was driving to Oklahoma, he was only going to stay there for 3 days. He went through a DUI checkpoint, which was weird. It checked for alcohol and it checked for marijuana. And the law is that there's only about 2 people in the precinct of police officers that are allowed to physically give field sobriety tests for marijuana because it's such a new subfield that nobody really knows about. So my dad gets through that, goes to the funeral, you know, pays his dues to his family, and then as he's driving back 100 miles outside of the Colorado border in a small town in Oklahoma, this police officer pulls him over, and my dad has a lead foot, you know, so he's assuming he got pulled over for speeding. He instantly gets his license and registration ready for the police officer as he's taking his time. The cop gets out of the car, instantly has his hand on his taser. My dad doesn't really take anything offense to that, you know, the police security, they're scared at the time with the sociological problems happening with that, but this cop comes up to the window, asks my dad to step out, and instantly searches him. And instantly assumes that he smells marijuana just because he pulled my dad over. My dad complies with him, follows all the rules, consents to a search of his car with the K9 dog. K9 dog comes in, doesn't smell anything. You know, there's no marijuana. My dad hasn't smoked weed a day in his life. He's a typical Coloradoan, wearing shorts when it's 30 degrees outside. Drives a truck, and he has a Colorado native sticker on the back of his bumper, proudly stating it, you know. So after all that happens, my dad is free to go. Never once was explained why he got pulled over. Never once was explained anything except for the fact, the assumption that the officer smelled weed. And I want to get into that. This leads into my visual here, considering license plate profiling. And since after this, all this data is 1 year after Amendment 64 is passed. It's shocking to me, honestly. The biggest one since I moved 15 seconds is Colby, Kansas. Colby, Kansas is about, from Colorado Springs, 3 hours, 4 hour drive, depending on how you drive. Every single day since the legalization of marijuana, there was at least 1 citation or ticket or arrest made, marijuana related, on a Colorado driver every day for that year. And it happened from June 2008 all the way until the statistic report stopped in 2013. There was 235 citations written altogether, and it was on I-70, and I-70 is really the only way to go through Kansas. Nebraska, they have 1 out of every 2 Colorado drivers cited for pot. It's under an ounce in legalized states. You're allowed to carry at least an ounce. That happened from 2011 to March of 2014. And in Wyoming, there's 2 out of 3 Colorado drivers pulled over and cited for marijuana. And it's becoming a really bad sociological problem because people from these legalized states, we're going to say, can't go out of state and go visit their family due to the fact they're scared to get profiled and get pulled over for marijuana and get a huge ticket and possibly even jail time, like 18 years or something like that. It's turning out really bad, and they also, with the passing of marijuana, people, they're going to associate, like in Colorado, they're going to think they can smoke whenever they want, like wherever. Go into restaurants, spark up a joint, people will do that. I mean, it's not okay. That's a bad thing to do. Just like cigarettes, when cigarettes came out, everybody thought it was okay, you know. But the government's doing a really good job of regulating that, and it hasn't really happened quite yet. I want to get into the medical marijuana, the medical part of marijuana, and the difference between cannabis and marijuana. Cannabis is hemp, otherwise known as hemp. It's the plant that grows the actual, I guess you could call bud, the seed. But the seed of marijuana is what you smoke, and the plant is just the plant. You can use the plant for many different uses. You can use it for constructional uses. This visual right here shows you all different types of uses, but really the main ones we really focus on is obviously the, I can't read that, I apologize. Where is it? We're going to use shampoo and everything, personal care. We can use hemp oil for that. It's really good for hair, makes it grow faster, just like horse shampoo, I guess you can say. You can make food with it, you can grow crops with it, and hemp was actually supposed to be the #1 billion-dollar crop next to tobacco, but in 1920 it got demonized, really, and Americans really didn't want to use that crop. I would go into a lot of it. There's a lot more information on it. I wish I could touch on it. It's so cool, but really you can even use hemp for renewable energy. It's so cool. You can use it as fuel. I'm really glad I got to touch the base with the sociological problems, because that's the really main focus of it. Because once we get past that, you can get past all the other problems with hemp. Hemp isn't really that of a drug. It's considered dangerous by the government, but it shouldn't be at all. I chose this topic because it's actually growing concern in our state, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and actually learned something new about it.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Any questions?